Hey guys, welcome to the latest episode of Three Faces of Wrasslin here on Deathlocker. I'm Hobo Socks and I'm here with
Pipe Man.
and
Steve.
and we're going to give you some of the worst wrestling commentary news updates that there is on the net. Hope you guys enjoy it. Stick around for the next half hour to 3.5 hours. We never know how long this is going to go. It really kind of depends. So let's kick things off with some random news that probably nobody else cares about but us. So Edge is back. Edge is doing a bunch of stuff. Edge Randy Orton has been kind of a thing, with The Undertaker kind of being phased out in this whole Last Ride documentary, kind of playing itself up to be like, you know, we're getting closer to the legit last time we'll see The Undertaker wrestle. Do you think that Piper Man, do you think that the WWE is trying to position Edge to kind of take on that Undertaker role? You know, a big name that comes in once, maybe twice a year, just to kind of do stuff for the next, 4 or 5 years.
It's hard to say because there's only one. He's not nearly as popular as Taker was. Taker was over 90s, 2000s, 2010s, almost 40 years. He has he's been around, and Edge maybe half that.
It's only been about half that, but if you gotta look at Edge popularity really hit during the Attitude Era, and if you're looking at some of the demographic, who would really be into Edge, that's kind of sort of the demographic that the WWE is looking for.
I think right now they're just throwing things against the wall, seeing what sticks, because let's face it, that Edge Orton match at WrestleMania really didn't excite anybody. So I think they're going to try to make up for that, because he got a huge pop at Royal Rumble, and then COVID hit, and they didn't have a big match at WrestleMania. They're going to, if he doesn't do a good job here, you will not see Edge being pushed as hard again.
So Ackerman,
No.
Piper brings up about trying to make up for the match at WrestleMania. Right now, what they're pushing with the Edge and the Orton thing is, I think it's being billed as the greatest match ever.
Yeah,
is that going to be possible with all the limitations, and we don't know what's going to look like as far as how many people in the audience are going to be there. So is this a mistake on WWE's? Should they kind of stop, maybe slow roll this whole Edge Orton thing to where people can actually get into the audience to get the right pops for it? What do you think?
Well, one, I don't think it was. They're calling it the best match ever.
It's the best match ever.
Yeah, no. For one, that's stupid.
Two, they calling it the best match ever. So you're saying that Vince McMahon's a dirty liar?
No, but I mean, the match hasn't even happened yet. It could be a flop. I mean, I don't know. I was reading that on Instagram and everything, and I was like, oh, the best match ever. Okay, you know what? A lot of people could say Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn was the best match ever. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against Randy Savage was the best match ever. To call it that, to me, that was just, they're trying to build something up, and I don't think it's going to happen.
So do you think by calling it the best match ever, you're setting expectations so high that no matter how good that match is, it'll just always be, people will feel like it fell a little bit short?
Yeah, and it's probably gonna. I mean, that WrestleMania match, you could tell it was pre-taped. They probably took breaks and stuff. I don't think Edge's neck is 100%. I don't know. I just hope it's a match, not no barnyard brawl or Money in the Bank type pre-recorded, edited music type thing. I just hope it's a match. But do I think it's going to be that great? No.
Well, in theory, my understanding is that's what Orton wants, is he wants it to be a regular in the ring, no gimmicks match. So it sounds like you're going to get what you want.
Yeah.
Piper,
no outlaw mud shows.
Yep. Piper, got a question for you. Okay. Ricky Stark of NWA. It's been announced that he is a free agent. He's no longer wrestling with the NWA. One, do we care? And two, where do you think he's going to end up?
Well, I've actually, I actually saw Ricky wrestle a few times here in Austin for local shows. He's a really good talent. I think he showed a lot of good stuff in NWA for the small amount of time he was there. I think I could see him going with TNA. If somehow TNA does not pick him up, I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow comes back with NWA. I just don't think he's big enough to get to AEW status yet.
See, I don't think he's going to go back to NWA because I've slowly noticed NWA's kind of taken a persona of having some established older wrestlers in there, but then getting some new talent in almost as a pseudo-developmental type thing. And folks trying to go out and do bigger, greater things. I think Ricky Stark was a little bit too talented, and I think his style would lead to some more acrobatics, which isn't something that NWA is really big on. So he was kind of held, in my opinion, I think he was held back a little bit because a lot of his in-ring stuff, he wasn't able to really do things that maybe he wanted to do because of the overall shtick of NWA.
Which, I could see that, but unless someone NXT sees something in him, but I think his best place to go next be TNA to work with some more high flying talent to get ready for one of the big organizations.
Ackerman,
Yo.
J.J. Watt of the Houston Texans recently was talking about how he is a fan of wrestling, and he was talking about the WWE 24/7 title. Will Rob Gronkowski maintain the 24/7 title into the NFL season? Yes or no?
I say no. I think he drops it right before somehow. He's going to have to show up. And I didn't even know he still had it.
He hasn't defended it once. They haven't stripped him of it. I don't know what the plan was. At one point, I kind of thought maybe before Rob Gronkowski signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, maybe he was going to show up on
maybe he could have stuck around a little bit.
Well, my brain was thinking maybe he was going to show up on like the a championship game for XFL before XFL folded, and then that would kind of be a WWE XFL tie. Me personally, I want to see Rob Gronkowski get tackled and pinned for 1, 2, 3. Someone takes off their helmet, and it's just some random, WWE jar. Yeah, R-Truth.
Yeah, R-Truth or something. Yeah.
He just runs off the field.
It's hard to win that belt. All you need is a roll up.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Realistically, though, what do you think they're going to do? Are they just going to wait and see what happens, or are they just going to do some sort of vacate the title?
They'll probably fly somebody up there or down to Florida and
like a training camp or something cheesy and controlled.
Like they're interviewing him and R-Truth or somebody will just roll him up, 2 minutes worth of tape and just send him on his way. It'll be over.
Piper, during a recent interview on what is this? After Buzz, Vince Russo popped out of the hole that he hides around in, and he was commenting that AEW is already filled with politics, that they are not hiring the best talent, but they are hiring friends and friends of friends, and there is a huge amount of nepotism in there. Do we care what Vince Russo thinks? And do you think that Vince Russo is just piling on a narrative that's pretty much existed since AEW came into play?
Well, considering back when he originally wanted to get in AEW, Cody pretty much told them, "We don't want you here. We don't want any part of you here." I won't say the problem with AEW. They came out and said, "We don't want anybody that has any negativity, no assholes." Which I can understand that to a point, but you can't just hire only nice guys all the time. There are going to be some people that are going to be not the best to get along with, but you're going to need some of those people to help out, because if everyone is agreeing to do stuff, you get shit like what we're getting with Kenny Omega, who will just do anything to try to get over somebody else, and it's just killing any credibility he's had coming from New Japan. And so we don't care what Vince Russo thinks, but he's not entirely wrong. But I don't think it's really much political. It's just they only want to hire a certain kind of person.
So Steve, Ackerman.
Yo.
Piper brings up a kind of interesting point about Kenny Omega doing a bunch of stuff, and that's kind of killing everything he had coming over from New Japan. Do you think that Kenny Omega really had a big draw in New Japan, or some of that just fabricated? Because a lot of the stuff I've read was that here in the States, there was a bigger perception of how popular Kenny Omega was in Japan than he actually was in Japan.
No, I would say he was more popular in New Japan, but I really think he's just here now, not stealing the spotlight. He's there, but he's not Cody. Not stealing the spotlight, helping build the talent and stuff. I mean, he's still one of my favorite wrestlers. I mean, his New Japan stuff is amazing. I don't know if you guys watch any of it, but it's all on YouTube. Some of the matches he's had with Switchblade, I mean, it's just amazing.
Are you prepared right here, Ackerman, to show us your version of Kenny Omega's jazz hands?
Kenny Omega's what?
His jazz hands.
What am I missing? Oh.
Yeah. He does all those facials and everything, and
good grief.
On the mat.
Oh yeah, the term. All right, I got a Terminator.
You are my buddy there, Ackerman, but I am not on the Kenny Omega bandwagon. He's not bad, but I think he's overinflated. I don't like it.
Oh my God,
I don't like him in general. And for me, when I really kind of jumped off the Kenny Omega bandwagon, was it a few months ago? He did like this clinic thing, and he spent more time trying to sit down and talk philosophy and with the folks instead of like teaching him stuff. And then as he's showing them things that didn't make sense in context to why he was there. I think he's pretentious. I think he fits that nepotism thing. I think he's just going to end up, kind of being a jobber long term.
No.
Yeah, he's going to be the dude who's going to be around, and he's going to stay lower upper card, higher middle card, but he's just going to be there. I mean, and he's not that young either.
No.
Basically, New Japan knew how to book him.
Yes.
But somehow in Kenny's head, he thinks he's already done everything he needs to do. He thinks he's already hit his prime. He's a Hall of Famer. So his job now is to get people over. Here's the problem, Kenny. Not many people in America know who the fuck you are. And when you come over here thinking you've already done everything and you're getting people over, all you're doing is burying yourself, because half people watching, especially the first time they watched AEW, have no fucking clue where you came from or anything. They might have heard the name, Kenny Omega's great. You're getting beat. Or you're not getting beat, you're getting beat up all the time. You're not getting hardly any moves in. And you're selling you're selling to the worst people around. It's just stupid. And obviously, New Japan knew how to book him, and now he's booking himself in AEW, and it's just not getting over at all.
Exactly. I mean, he's force feeding himself into situations that he shouldn't be. In my opinion, if Kenny Omega really wants to get over, he needs to just kind of revamp his persona a little bit. And he's that small doses guy. I think all I understand Young Bucks, Cody, Kenny Omega, because they started AEW, they want to be there a lot, and it's the first year, so you're going to get a little bit of overload on all of them. But I think we're to a point now where we have this talk about Cody. They need to step back, let other people develop themselves, and it's not the Cody Young Bucks. I mean, that's the best thing with the Young Bucks. You haven't seen them in tonight they popped up, unfortunately, but we haven't seen them in a couple weeks. So
I mean, would we agree? Okay, this time last year, everyone thought that Kenny Omega would be the biggest star on AEW. Now we look at it, and I would argue that Dustin Rhodes is bigger than Kenny is right now.
Yeah, well, Kenny's got to get out of that. Well, let's see what happens Saturday night, because I think something's going to happen, and Paige is going to be bye-bye. So there goes Omega's tag team partner.
Paige is more over than Kenny is right now.
Yeah. So there's a lot of big things that are going to happen this weekend.
Okay.
We'll see. Because tonight, Kenny went out like a bitch.
Piper, Charlotte Flair. She's been on everything WWE recently. Is she in danger of being overexposed, or is she currently overexposed? What do you think?
I think it depends on who you talk to. First of all, I think it was a mistake they even put her in NXT. You know, I know a lot of people said that she's only exposed this much because she's the daughter of Ric Flair. But to be honest, she is the best women's wrestler there is around. She just is. Now, is she on TV a lot and always going, talking or on something? Yes, but she's trying to get people over also. So I think it's a bit of both. Is she getting overexposed? Yes, but is she talented enough to be overexposed? I'll say also yes. But she should be off NXT.
Ackerman, I got a hypothetical for you. So we're
Yeah.
talking about Charlotte Flair.
Uh-huh.
Recently, The Rock's daughter signed her deal with WWE. Do you think in the next year to 18 months, we're going to see The Rock's daughter springboarded so they can do a champion legacy versus champion legacy, Rock's daughter versus Ric Flair's daughter, some sort of I don't know, match, promotion,
Yeah,
long-term thing?
No, I don't see that happening. Not maybe a few years, but not anytime soon.
Okay, a perfect example why they should not do that. One word, Tamina. Tamina is awful. Being the daughter of a huge popular Hall of Famer, and also I guess somewhat Samoan heritage, she is the drizzling shits.
But I think one thing you have to look at is if you give a strong push to The Rock's daughter, that means you're going to get The Rock as well. So he's going to pop up a bunch more. He's going to be the one who's going to put, people in the seats, especially post COVID. And apparently Steve's breaking. Let's pause why old man Ackerman there, gets back with the electronics.
There we go. The thing fell.
They already pushed one of Rock's family members, and she's mostly hated by everybody.
Well, but it's a little different dynamic when it's a family member and it's a direct relative like that, because he's going to take ownership not only probably of her, he's going to have a lot of influence with how her character goes, and he's going to be a strong mentor for her, and he might even jump back in the ring to do some sort of angle.
Well, if he does, I hope he knows when she is ready, and at the same time when she is not ready, if that makes sense. Like, hope he knows not to push her
anytime soon.
Yeah, hope he knows when. If they want her on TV in big matches, and he sees that she's not ready, I hope he can step in and say, not quite yet.
So you think they should dump her in NXT for a while, see how things pan out?
No, I think they should keep her just behind the scenes until they are positive that she's good enough to be on TV. Because obviously when she first comes out, she is going to be dissected and everything like crazy to see how good she actually is.
So off topic, but recently, last week we talked about, now for our listeners, you might notice that last week's episode isn't up on the YouTube. We recorded a little bit late. I got a little sidetracked, so I wasn't able to get the video up, but it is out there on iTunes, Spotify, whatever you listen to your podcasts on. So I apologize for not having the video up. It's all, I don't know if I'm pointing down to Ackerman or not. I'm trying to point down to him on my screen. I am, but it's all that guy's fault.
Just pointed at Piper. I'm on the top.
Oh, you're on the top, so we're there. I don't know how this is looking, but it's all his fault. He let like a bee sting him in his face or something, and looked like a big red balloon. We figured we'd go ahead and pause. But we talked a little bit about Carneyland, and we finally know what Carneyland is. Did you guys get a chance to catch up and
I actually have not. I keep seeing ads for it. I just haven't had a chance to see it yet.
So I wasted about 25 minutes of my life watching this Carneyland nonsense.
How bad was it?
It's a mixed bag. let me give you a couple highlights. So Nick Aldis gives you a brief story about his first experience with NWA and how the booker at the time didn't actually pay for his hotel. So when he signed up, showed up, the booker assumed that Nick Aldis would put his own credit card on there, figure out that he got charged for his own room after the show was over and could skedaddle out. That was not an entertaining story at all. Then we had Tim Armstrong, who for some reason gave us a history lesson on Benjamin Franklin.
Tim Armstrong or Tim Storm?
Tim Storm, thank you.
Okay.
That's why we have our fact checker here. Tim Storm. I actually wrote down Armstrong. Sorry. Tim Storm gave us a story about Benjamin Franklin that somehow ended with the revelation that Benjamin Franklin electrocuted himself trying to cook turkeys, and that Benjamin Franklin had a friend who would take those dead turkey carcasses and dissect them. Yeah.
Man, I had a hope what this Quinlan would be, but apparently I was way off.
And then there's a bunch of little promos for what it looks like to kind of be podcasts, several different talents, Eli Drake and somebody else, like behind the scenes, the curtain reveal type stuff. That's all the fashion, us. Make sure you like and subscribe. That's all the thing right now. It was okay for a web show in a 30-minute chunk. It was kind of, this might sound stupid, but it reminded me of Glow. It was done in a cheesy 80s fashion. It was stupid, but the thing I kind of dug about it was the talent seemed like they were having a good time. So even though it was dumb, it seemed like they were having fun, which kind of, a lot of times if the people you're watching are having fun, it makes it seem it's more entertaining for you. Thing I didn't like about it is it's got a whole Patreon thing. So you can pay like $5, $10, or $50 and get different levels of content.
I like
ads,
that.
no ads. It's like when you play Candy Crush on your phone, you want to keep playing longer, you got to pay 99 cents to buy more keys to open the box to get the jewels to get more lives. But
what I was hoping what they could have done is they could have gone back in the day of when wrestling started, which started in carnies, and it could have been hosted by Ricky and Robert of the Rock and Roll Express, and they just kind of had, I guess, I don't know, kind of like small, I guess, shows, and just kind of helped you understand where wrestling came from in a fun way.
I think this is going to be their attempt to consolidate some good ideas that are some ideas. I'm not going to say good. Some ideas that aren't fleshed out enough to be their own thing, so we can just squish them all together. Okay. But it's a thing. If you want to watch it, knock yourself out. But I don't know.
Because I really like NWA. I hated they got rid of Cornette. That's a whole other story. But I kept trying to follow them. I really enjoyed what they did. I think they're more entertaining than anything WWE's done all year long. But I'm surprised they haven't tried to do any studio stuff when they already had small crowds to begin with. But like they can still try to do something. I know they don't have the funds like AEW and WWE has. I feel like they still could try something out.
I think it's a logistics thing. because they basically record their entire season over the course of 2 weeks.
Yeah, but same thing. AEW did that. They did what 5-6 weeks of shows in one night.
True. But again, AEW's got a lot more money. So I think when you look at logistics, when you look at, probably what pays for a lot of the stuff is, because those tickets aren't, they're not super expensive if you want to go to a taping, but they're not like super cheap either. What the fuck are you doing? For those of you who aren't watching the YouTube one, Ackerman just has this fetish for touching his monitor.
I put the TV remote behind it so it stands up.
So, One day,
That was
Steve
a good
Ackerman
practice.
will sort out his setup, and he's only been doing this for a few weeks now. He'll sort out a setup that'll work permanently. So, so I recommend checking out Carneyland. It was okay to watch, but I don't know. I kind of quit caring. I mean, it was something different, but once they tried to hit me up for the money, I was kind of like, fuck that, man.
Yep.
You know, it would be one thing if they presented it as a Patreon only type thing, but the whole you can watch it with or without ads if you pay money, and then you can watch it early if you pay this much.
Well, that at the same time, I mean, they based their whole money making thing off YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, free, come watch it every Tuesday, and now they're doing that. That's some bullshit.
Okay, so let's kind of move on to some WWE stuff. Now, I'm going to be up front with everybody out there listening. I am not the biggest WWE fan lately. The product in my mind was
Who is?
I mean, it's been level for a while. You know, some ups, some downs. Nothing that's really like it gets you excited to watch it. I personally don't really watch it when it's on. I end up catching highlights. If I'm doing something in my office, I'll have it on as a background. But WWE hasn't been must-see TV for me for a while now. Even the pay-per-views, it's kind of like it's very miss. So I know Piper's not a big WWE guy, and Ackerman's not a big WWE guy. So we're just gonna kind of go over a few things on it. So we're not going to worry about three ups and 3 downs or 3 likes, 3 dislikes, whatever the fuck that we're doing in this show. As you can see, I'm very unprepared. So we're just going to go ahead and go through a few things. So on SmackDown, Elias beat King Corbin. Seems like King Corbin is on his track of just losing a lot. He's a good, I think he's a good talent in the ring. I think that character could be really cool. I would love to see the whole King thing pulled off because I don't think they're maximizing that to his potential. And he's just there now.
He looks like the owner of a taxidermy store.
Yeah.
I think just the whole character is stupid. I think his original gimmick, 5-6 years ago, that was the way to
Wolf. That was awesome.
That was the way to present him. I think they've just gone way too cheesy with him. I mean, his work is smooth. He's a good worker, but other than that, he's not over it all. Like he's instantly mute TV or change the channel.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no. I don't feel like.
Too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm so over Elias's gimmick. I mean, the whole let's just sing a song crap. That to me, that plays well in the 80s WWE, but nowadays it's just kind of overly pretentious for me.
He's a worse version of the Honky Tonk Man, which I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, I mean, you hit on the head. It's.
Yeah, I love the Honky Tonk.
Well, yeah, but in place and time, it made sense because that was when wrestling was like that. Nowadays, I mean, it's just it's fucking retarded. Naomi and who is it? Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke won. I give 2 fucks about that match.
Yeah.
It was an okay match. I mean, it was what it is. Daniel Bryan and was it Drew?
Gulak, that was a good match, and Gulak left.
Yeah, well, his contract expired.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good match, but I don't. To me, there's one of the things WWE has a tendency to do is they'll have good matches that aren't part of any kind of story. So in my mind, they're kind of wasted a little bit.
Yeah. I bet you Gulak will be back within the next month, though, because I think Daniel Bryan is a little upset that he left. Well, he didn't sign a new contract because he wanted more money. So I think Daniel Bryan's gonna throw his 2 cents in. I bet you Drew Gulak comes back within a month, or at least I hope he does, because that was the only thing. Them 2 together, that was actually starting to click a little bit.
Dude,
how much more money could they be asking for?
They're cost saving, and they're hemorrhaging. So he might come back at some point, but I don't see him coming back like within the next month. If he comes back, I think it's going to be, once you start seeing WWE get back to their audiences, they're looking at new pay-per-view structures. It's going to be a while because they're trying to sort out what's going on. And then what's even worse is there's been some reports of Vince McMahon's looking at trying to buy the XFL back again.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, well, that and of the last 2 weeks with the whole Martha Hart thing, that has put him in a bad situation again. I
yeah,
don't know if you've been paying attention to that or not.
I have not. I mean, I saw a headline, but I didn't read it. Why don't you fill us in?
Yeah. Well, basically, last night was the Owen Hart last episode, Dark Side of the Ring, and then last week on Jericho's podcast, Martha was on there talking about how WWE countersued them so they could get the Owen Hart trial moved from Kansas City to Connecticut. So because in Kansas City they don't have to pay
more user friendly.
in Kansas City you have to pay liable damages. In Connecticut you do not. And so they countersued for that, and WWE's lawyer came out and literally said, well, she's just doing this to try to make more money off of Owen's name, and to try to put other people in her family in a bad situation, and it made Vince look like shit. And I don't know if you followed Twitter for the past 2 weeks, especially last night. It's a bunch of people done watching WWE after the evidence came out last night, and it's put Vince in a bad situation.
Yeah, I don't see them throwing money at any returning talent. I mean, they got a lot of stuff they got to clean up in house.
Oh yeah.
And
it's Vince playing the XFL, him getting sued by Oliver Luck.
Yep, which Oliver Luck is very well respected in the sports community, especially the NFL community, and it is some janky shenanigans that were kind of going on with that. And Oliver Luck was the guy who was going on all the shows. He was pimping out the XFL. He was the face of the XFL. He was the one who was leading, rules committees and stuff. The XFL actually had some really good rules that could be incorporated by the NFL. And that was, Oliver Luck basically was creating that league. Vince might have been the money behind it. He might have been, the overall vision of, hey, I want to own a football league. But, Oliver Luck was really the guy who was kind of creating everything, the structure of the organization, the logistics. And I mean, they signed him to like this, was it $25 million, just crazy contract. And then just said, fuck it, we're not going to pay you, man. And then the only thing I read was Vince claims that he told him to drop a player from the league, and he didn't drop the player from the league. So some sort of kicker kicked in on the player's contract to where he got like $250,000 or something like that. But so that was the basis by which Oliver Luck was like fired and told that they weren't going to pay him his money.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. So Vince has burned a lot of bridges, I think, publicly in the public arena. And I think a lot of talent knows this. So potentially they could be using that as leverage to kind of, skate away and see what's available. Because, I mean, WWE is going to need bodies, and they know that they can come back to the WWE if things don't work out. Especially if, WWE ends up getting purchased by one of the, we're talking Disney, a bigger conglomerate down the road, then no one's going to give two fucks what Vince McMahon thinks. He's just going to be a figurehead, much like Ted Turner was a figurehead for Turner Broadcasting when was it AOL or whomever bought them out?
Yeah, AOL Time Warner.
AOL Time Warner?
Yep.
So, but let's see, what else was interesting on SmackDown? Charlotte Flair showed up. We got some more Bayley, Sasha Banks nonsense. And then Charlotte Flair and Bayley is going to fight. Ooh, we all kind of knew that was going to happen. I don't care. at all. I think it's because I personally feel that Charlotte Flair is overhyped. She's just around too much all the time. I hope that.
Well, you can't deny her ring skills.
No, you can't. I mean, you can't deny that. You can't deny her work ethic by doing the 3 different shows. I don't think that's not Charlotte Flair isn't the problem. The booking's the problem.
Right.
You know,
because they had the best women's wrestling. They just can't. Lately, they just can't book it.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, she's one of the most talented female wrestlers on their roster. They should be using her like that. You know, every once in a while she pops up, she does something. So it's special when she comes out.
Yeah, but you're seeing her 3 times a week.
Yeah, nobody. It's not a draw anymore. You don't care.
Girls sitting in the back. That's why they're going down the toilet.
Yeah. So then we had the Miz and Morrison versus Otis and Braun Strowman.
Yeah, I saw Strowman doing the fucking worm.
That is on my note here. That was the fucking. I don't.
Looks like he was sliding on a slip and slide.
I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing with the Strowman character. I mean, is he going to be that big menacing guy, or is he going to be a little bit more softer and comedic? I don't understand where they're going.
That's another one they don't know what to do with.
The Fiend stuff, the Bray Wyatt stuff just seems to have totally disappeared. You know, in the favor of Otis. And I don't think Otis is bad. I like Otis. I know a lot of people think Otis is kind of stupid. I like him on the roster as an upper mid-card guy who can kind of be there and fill in. But, dude, I am not understanding what's going on right now with Otis and Braun Strowman. I'm personally kind of tired of this. Am I or am I not going to cash in the fucking Money at the Bank?
Yeah, once this COVID's over, all this shit's going to change because everybody's going to come back.
Yeah,
we'll see. It depends on how bad a shape they're in by the time that happens.
Otis is a bridge champion, and
he should never be a champion of anything unless maybe 24/7.
I one of the lower ones, Intercontinental or something. Make him that.
Right. He should wear the same belt that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat wore and Macho Man wore.
Well, let's be realistic though. The Intercontinental title its relevance has been extremely fluid, depending upon what era you're talking about.
The whole gimmick just drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Otis. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
He looks like he looks like he should be changing my fucking oil at the fucking Valvoline station over here.
I think the thing that really messes me up with Otis is he just looks like a dude who should be over in NWA. he fits that profile. I mean, I think Otis needs to be over there. He can work as big as he is. He can work pretty good in the ring. He's got a personality about him. I just don't think his personality is a right fit for what they're using him for in WWE.
He reminds me of Playboy Buddy Rose.
What was it? I was listening to something. I think it was Cornette's show, and someone had asked him the question about is Otis
the next Dusty Rhodes?
And I was like, oh
shit, not even. Oh my god.
Maybe the next Eugene.
Yeah, I think that's the analogy that he used. It was just like, so I really don't have 3 ups, 3 downs for SmackDown because the whole thing it was even. It was what it was.
Yeah, it was just there. Nothing good.
Raw, we got some more Edge Orton stuff. We talked about that already. Flair shows up on everything.
Yeah.
Ruby Riott. You know, it was a pretty decent match. I mean, it was short. It was there. I don't think either one of them really worked well in that match. I think it was just a means to an end match. Flair obviously won that one. Nia Jax and Asuka, they had a little thing. I am becoming a bigger fan of Asuka because she's so fucking random. I mean, she's loud. She's weird.
She's also very talented in the ring.
Yeah, well, when she came over, they kind of wasted her when she came over because they killed her undefeated streak pretty quickly. And then she just kind of disappeared. And then I think Ronda Rousey came over and took a lot of the spotlight that she might have gotten because they had a big name woman talent. And now she's getting her shot. And I've recently I've dived down the rabbit hole of Asuka's YouTube page where she just like does things like makes pancakes and puts together like this one-up machine. It's just so random and it's so fun. Like she's having a good time. And it seems like I was never sure if the way that she is in the ring and her character was a reflection of her real life. And it seems like it kind of is. So that kind of makes me like the Asuka character more. I hope she just doesn't get stomped on by Nia Jax.
She is, I would say, in that company, she's probably the second best woman in the ring next to Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When they let her be.
And then, right, and after that, it's Sasha and Bailey.
So Ackerman, do you think that they're actually going to make this whole Jax Asuka thing a long-term program, or do you think this is just going to be Asuka is going to be a bridge to put the belt on somebody else?
I think it's just filler for now until everything goes back to normal. I mean, I don't see not Nia doing anything, which I mean, I don't know. I mean, right now she's there. You know, they only have a few wrestlers there. No, I think it's just a stall tactic until they could actually get something really good booked.
So, Piper, do you think that
Asuka fight?
Sorry, you cut off. So, Piper,
chick's name
keeps pausing.
The other MMA chick with the.
Oh, you're talking about I'm having a brain fart now.
Yeah, but she hasn't really done that.
Baszler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think those two are going to end up when this, Corona's over or things start getting back to normal. I think those two are going to start butting heads, and I'd like to see that.
I love Baszler.
Yeah, at first I didn't like her when she came, but then she stepped it up. She's brutal. She ain't exactly a wrestler. She's more of but still, I admire her now.
Do you think that whatever they do with that particular belt is going to kind of be tainted by the fact that everybody knows when Becky Lynch comes back, it's going to end up reverting back to her at some point?
If she comes back.
Yeah, that's another thing. If she comes back.
She might be, she might love motherhood and not want to come back.
I'm thinking she's going to come back because I think she's not that far into her contract.
I mean, she can come back, but I'm just saying she might have a change of heart.
Oh.
I mean, it's going to be a year before she comes back.
Yeah, at least.
So, right now, today, do you think she's going to come back, or do you think that they're going to just drop her? She might re-sign in a couple years.
They won't drop her at least as long as because she has been their number one female money draw, and her husband, I guess that her boyfriend is the biggest name in the company right now.
So you think that her money draw in merchandising is going to outweigh her guaranteed contract that they're going to pay her to just sit home and twiddle her thumbs, Iron Sheik style?
Yes, because she is the biggest. She's the most popular woman there.
There you go. I kind of tend to. Well, no, I kind of tend to agree with you. I think that she'll come back sooner than maybe a year in just pops up and does a promo or, just is on television, not actually taking any kind of bumps or doing anything in ring.
She needs to give somebody else a spotlight for a little bit.
Okay, so what else happened on Raw that was interesting? More Bobby Lashley nonsense. Again, I'm not a big fan of this Bobby Lashley MVP stuff. I was never a big MVP guy. I just think I think for me where I lost all faith in MVP was when he did the Ultimate Warrior match, which was like Warrior's last match.
I guess I missed that.
Yeah, no, it was like on some random promotion, and it was like Warrior's last match, and I think he was pretty much gassed by the time he made it to the ring running around.
He was
I'm
at
so-
he did a couple world class shows out here. He did one in Irving, and me and a couple guys were standing there, and he came up, and I guess he thought we were going to take pictures of him, and he went off on us. So I'm just standing there looking at him. I'm like, well, what? So one of the guys, like promoters or whatever, that was inside came out. He goes, oh, I'm so sorry. He just got off a flight. I was like, okay. But he scared the shit out of this little kid, and I'm like, oh my God, really? I was
Yeah.
shocked.
he was always known for being an asshole.
So
And there
our
were 30 people in there, so it was kind of awkward. So I'm like, wow, this is really weird.
are we buying into this whole Lashley McIntyre program?
No, because they have not been serious about Lashley since he's arrived.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he's Lashley serious now. He's gonna tap
But
into
too
his
late.
inner rage or some dumb shit.
Is he still with Lana?
I believe so.
Then I don't. You know what?
He
I
went
don't give a
off
shit.
on. Yeah, she was yelling at him, and yeah, I think she's gonna end up going away for a little bit.
And while we're talking about McIntyre, he did have a match with Corbin, who lost.
Yeah.
So within the course of 5 days, King Corbin lost 2 matches.
Yeah.
Long live the king. What else is going on in WWE? That's about it. There's really nothing super interesting else I saw on WWE side.
Nope.
Anything I missed before we head over to AEW land?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so AEW. I didn't get a chance to watch AEW. All I saw was this Jericho Hardy nonsense that keeps going along. We'll get to that. I'll let you guys kind of run me through the show tonight.
Well, show opened up. Was it MJF who started the show?
No, it was Moxley against
That's
10.
right, against 10.
Yeah.
Once again, with one of the worst promos ever by the Exalted One, Brody
Yeah.
Lee. It just, I never really watched him that much in WWE, so I didn't get a chance to hear him talk. He cuts an awful promo. It's like he's reading a script. It's
Yeah.
monotone. He just can't talk. Moxley came out, beat 10, and then afterwards, like, Brody Lee, you come out and face me or I break his arm. Well, he broke 10's arm with a steel chair. That sucked. Was not good.
Yeah.
I think everyone can agree the highlight of the night was Jake the Snake and Arn Anderson.
Yeah, that was good.
They had a sit down with cutting promos on each other. Jake's apparently going to knock out Mike Tyson, and at the end of it, Jake and Arn almost went at it and had to be broken up. So I'm excited to see that.
So them going at it, did it look good or did it look really staged? 2 old dudes trying not to hurt each other.
It looked really good because they didn't actually touch each other.
So nobody busted a hip getting up out of the chair.
No. It was honestly the most believable angle of the whole night.
2 senior citizens fighting at a bingo hole.
There we go,
I mean,
right
they look more dangerous than the football field incident.
Oh God, I
Yeah.
saw that. That was not good. All right, so what else do we have going on with that thing?
MJF was great.
Yeah, that was good.
He came out and beat
Marco.
Stunt. That got some good heat. Then I guess a little afterwards. Well, no, it was after that. A big skirmish came out with the whole ladder match battle royal getting ready to happen.
Yeah.
Now Ackerman, I thought that Britt Baker, she was on tonight, right? I know you're a big
my
Britt
God,
Baker
dude.
fan. Doctor, the
Two
doctor, Britt Baker.
botches. 2 botches. And I think she actually might have gotten hurt because they threw that Nyla Rose on her in the corner. And at the end of the match, you see it off to the side, the referee and a couple of stagehands kind of walking her to the back. So I hope she didn't get hurt again. but she
Here's-
to me.
Why do
Oh.
you hate her so much?
Because she ain't that good. She is not that good.
She is the best girl. Actually, she's probably top 3 person on the mic in the company.
Yeah, on the
Right
mic, in the ring. I mean, this. What do you call it when you go to kick somebody in the head? Like one foot kicks you in the head. Oh man.
I kick in the head.
Yeah, like that Starlander missed her by a foot, and she still sold it. And they didn't have time to change the camera angle.
Well, okay,
I mean-
so one of the things with AEW is they are not super good with their camera angles right now.
No,
So you can't always put that on the performer.
I don't know.
But I mean, what is she supposed to do if it's not off? Not sell it? I mean, what
It's-
looks
I wouldn't have sold it. She missed.
dude, what looks worse? Not selling something or selling it and being like, okay, that was a
I
bad
wouldn't have
sell.
sold it at all. It was like a foot away. Maybe she thought the camera was behind her. I don't know, but I put
Two
her up
things.
there. I put her up there with the librarian.
Oh, come on. She's better. She's better than fucking Lisa Bates. 2 things. Almost every woman in AEW is green as grass.
Yeah.
They're all still learning. No, and number 2, when they're that green, they should not be doing big tag team matches, much less most of the time, like 4 people at once in a ring. That's just stupid. Because they're all green, they're all still learning, and you have so much going on, and they keep fucking up over and over again. They just have single matches each time.
Yeah, I don't know why Ackerman hates Britt Baker so much. I think he secretly has a little crush on her or something, and he just knows he's never going to get none of that. So, as we can see, apparently Steve is too far away from his Wi-Fi connection.
She is the only woman that gets heat in AEW.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, looks like we lost Ackerman. He'll come back. So we'll wait to see if Ackerman comes back before we hit this nonsense that was the ending. Oh my goodness. I had a note on something and I forgot what it was. So I guess it's not that serious. Oh, well, since we're waiting for Ackerman to come back, something I forgot to talk about on SmackDown or on Raw. What the fuck is going on with the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders? Because I don't know. We have a basketball game. Now we have an axe throwing contest. What the fuck?
They are just trying to kill time with as much talent as they can possibly find. I love the Viking Raiders. I'm not a big fan of the name or maybe the gimmick. I'm not really sure which one I hate more. But I think they are probably the best tag team in WWE right now. But I think now they're all about gimmicks. Same thing with fucking Otis. They're just going to keep giving them more and more dumb shit to do to kill time until COVID comes over. But my question is what's going to kill them first? Are they going to kill? Are they going to kill? Are they going to kill everything with the gimmicks first, or is COVID going to kill? Or is COVID going to kill everything with people not showing up? I'm not really sure what's going to be worse for them.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean,
they are gimmicking out everything, and it is getting ridiculous. And I'll say even AEW is starting to do too many gimmick things. They're not as bad as WWE yet.
Yeah, and it looks like Steve Ackerman's joined us. So those of you who are not watching the YouTube page, Steve Ackerman's YouTube channel is Steve Ackerman, the Ackerman. His connection is not the best. He keeps popping in and out.
You need business internet.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you get when you're still using a 14 4K dial-up modem on an old gateway computer, is you get Steve Ackerman's internet connection. Yeah, so that was really random. I think that I had that on my list of what the fuck moments on the WWE
I'm taking this
side.
I'm taking this tablet back to the Exxon station.
The Exxon station. You take it back to Blockbuster where you bought it, see if you can get a refund.
Yeah. So did I miss you guys talking about the Ray Phoenix
No, we actually paused and we went back a little bit to talk about that axe throwing nonsense on Raw.
Oh,
You didn't miss anything. So go ahead and take us back to AEW with the Phoenix thing.
that match sucked.
Well, anything with Orange Cassidy sucks.
That made Phoenix look like that pissed me off. I didn't like that.
What didn't you like about it?
It was just fucking corn. I mean, Phoenix should have destroyed him. But
Phoenix came out like he didn't give a shit.
yeah, he didn't look too happy, did he? So
No.
I'm like, and then at the end of the match, when it was all right, he won. But when it's all said and over, he did that flip off the rope and nobody caught him.
Oh, I thought it hurt him horribly.
Yeah, he landed on his fucking shoulder, and oh my God, he didn't jump far enough.
Gosh, the thing is, Phoenix is very injury prone. I was actually at a show in Austin where he got injured and they had to stop the match.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because he's known for being injury prone like hell. He's basically made of glass.
Well, I guess the good thing is if he landed on his face at all, there's a doctor in the house. So looks like we have lost Steve Ackerman. So
I'm still here.
well, all I see is your face is frozen,
You're
my
going,
friend.
and you're going.
It looks like you're taking a cock in the mouth.
You guys are frozen.
That's on you, my friend.
Not better than you moved.
Okay, now we're good. Okay, so are we to the end of the nonsense of the night?
No, because we didn't mention about the football field.
That is the nonsense of the night I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Hardy match was what I think the Hardy matches are going to be. I do like Matt Hardy. I don't think that he's working well. I didn't like the match with the younger talent. I'm kind of tired of Hardy walking around doing his Damascus, Scooby-Doo villain nonsense. I feel like he is a Scooby-Doo villain. You just pull off the mask and it's a different Matt Hardy. You pull off the mask and it's a different Matt Hardy. I like him as a performer. I think that with the crowds not being there, his entire shtick is just being wasted on deaf ears.
It's like bad community theater.
I don't understand. I mean, I don't know if Hardy's got some fucking naked pictures of Jericho in compromising positions with farm animals or something. I don't know why Jericho, who is a great talent, he's a great mind. Hardy's a good talent and a good mind. Jericho's better. Jericho's more respected. Jericho's I still say he is the face of, even though he's not the champion, the Le Champion, he is, for all intents and purposes, the face of AEW.
I feel like ever since COVID's happened, Jericho has went downhill.
It's like they don't know what they're going to do, and he wants to work with a friend, and something that would have been just maybe filler, something fun if you had an audience there, is now being highlighted for its stupidity, because with no audience there, it's just highlighting how fucking dumb it is. The whole
it's awful.
Yeah, even the whole faction versus faction thing has shifted to almost a Jericho Hardy focus.
And what makes me upset more than anything is the one person who I think a lot of people want to see, it's never on TV, is Darby Allin, who I think should be on TV a lot more. All we get out from him now are just cool skateboard commercials.
Yeah.
And no one, I've not met one person that enjoys watching the Young Bucks.
No, me neither. I mean, there's a couple matches they've had with other people I've enjoyed, but it's because of the other people that they work with. Not, I don't tune in and be like, oh, fuck, it's the Young Bucks. That looks.
And let's not forget, they are. Sean Spears is a news anchor now. I forgot about that. Sean Spears, I guess, they went after Cody's past drug abuse. Not Cody's, but Dustin's.
Dustin's, yeah.
And Sean booked himself in a match with Dustin Rhodes. I hate to say this, I was supposed to be at Double or Nothing this year. Now I'm positive that the match card will be different if COVID did not happen. But the pay-per-view card does not look very well for Double or Nothing when this is their WrestleMania pretty much, and it's not looking good. I know COVID had a lot to do with it, but there's not one match I'm dying to see.
AEW is going to be kind of interesting for me post-COVID because there's such a new promotion. The first year was really going to tell the tale of their longevity, and basically to have almost a full quarter of that year wiped clean. How much of it do we just give them a mulligan?
Well, I think since they've had, every pay-per-view they've had has been pretty solid. Both their first Double or Nothing and the Revolution were phenomenal pay-per-views. I think until COVID hit, they were on a roll. Now, saying this, they've had a lot better COVID shows than WWE's had.
Yes.
Easily. So I think overall they'll get a mulligan, but depending on how long COVID crowds keep not being able to come, it's I don't know if it can end up hurting them a lot worse, because they can only do so much with the same people over and over again and get more and more cheesy each week.
Ackerman, I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
Did Did AEW potentially jump the shark when Tony Schiavone said about Hangman Page, he came out of nowhere? As we all watched him sprint down the fucking football
ran
field.
Across the field, then he walked off.
And then we get, he came out of nowhere. Like a magic unicorn.
Compared to the Young Bucks came out of nowhere.
Yeah. First, when I saw the Bucks, I was like, "Who the hell is that?" I was like,
okay, well, was that actually? Well, first of all, was that actually the Young Bucks, because they had the little fucking masks on?
Yeah, they fell off.
I didn't see a bandana pop out so I could identify the receding hairline, the bald spots, to actually.
No, it was them. The first thing I saw when I saw two people pop up, I don't know why I thought of the Revolt. I don't know why that.
I wish it was them.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, they're not called the Revolt. Do not call them the Revolt, or you might get sued by the real Revolt.
What are they going to be called now?
They are called FTR.
FTR.
They're
called because they got a cease and desist from a indie tag team that no one ever heard of. It's called the Revolt.
And but apparently they were never going to be called the Revolt. They were always going to be called FTR. And that way FTR can mean whatever you want to mean at any given time. And for our listeners out there, they're Lemony Snicket fans, VFD. So Ackerman's confused. But VFT, Volunteer Fire Department. It's an acronym that's used over the Lemony Snicket books that means different things depending upon the situation that it's being used in.
I think
go ahead.
What's going to happen Saturday? I think Paige is going to turn. Another thing we got to bring up too before we go: who do you all think the surprise entry in the casino ladder match is going to be?
Hulk Hogan.
I'm thinking Zack Ryder, but I'm fucking scared to death it's going to be Sting.
I'm thinking Zack Ryder.
I will shit. You know what? One, there was talks of Sting coming. All right. It better not be Sting.
Sting's going to show up, but I don't think he's going to actually do anything in the ring.
Well, we keep hearing things about Sting and Darby Allin. That should never happen.
Yeah.
Just because they both have white and black face paint, that shouldn't mean they should be together.
Well, I think what a lot of people forget about Sting is the imagery is what's iconic. He was a good in-ring performer, but he was never that good on the mic. He was average at best on the mic. So his neck is fucked up too, and I really don't think AEW is going to be paying him enough. I mean, if he always wanted to wrestle The Undertaker, and if they didn't want to, if WWE couldn't get the money together to have those two geriatrics go at it, for the money draw, I don't think he's going to put himself in harm's way for AEW in ring, maybe a little bump or two. I think he's going to show up. He's going to do a year. He's going to get paid. If I was guessing, he'll make some frowny faces at Jake Roberts because they'll be like, ooh, Jake Roberts and ooh, Sting, and they'll each other.
Thinking about it, Is anyone puzzled why no one from Mike Tyson or Mike Tyson's camp has come out and advertised this?
Well, I mean, I think some of it is as soon as Mike Tyson said he wanted to get back in the ring, a ton of people came out and said how fucking stupid he was.
Yeah, but should Mike Tyson or somebody be on there like, hey, I'm going to be at AEW, be sure to watch. Should that be happening right now? Right now, it's only AEW pushing this, which they only
they're not really pushing it hard either.
Exactly. I'm going, y'all shouldn't have done this. If you're going to do it, you need to be pushing it a whole lot fucking more than you are right now, because y'all's card right now is mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Or maybe he'll just come out like the Hitman with the belt. You know, I don't know. I don't think he's going to do much.
No, well, maybe, but
they're going to make money off. It'll probably be a marketing deal. They'll make money off marketing.
T-shirt.
Yeah, toys. You know, I don't think he's. I don't think he's going to do anything.
I'm pretty positive Mike is going to turn on Cody, because Jake came out tonight saying he's going to knock Tyson out. I think that's going to be a whole reverse.
Are they going to go completely meta? And since Holyfield was like, hey, I want a box too.
At the same time, all depends how many people are they going to be allowed to have there for the whole COVID thing? That's another thing I'm so confused about.
Yeah.
I can't believe Tyson is going to risk being there. I'm very surprised about that.
Money's right, man. I mean, Mike Tyson, his finances are sorted out a little bit, but I mean, still, if they're going to pay him
how much money are they paying Mike Tyson to go to a show that hardly no one's going to be at? That is fucking crazy.
AEW is doing a lot of stuff that other promotions did, using the exact same talent that other promotions use.
I agree.
For a promotion that is supposed to be doing everything different.
That is true, and if this was a sold out show, or just actually going on with fans, okay, he's coming back. Vegas, okay, I can see it happen. But this ain't going to be in Vegas. This is going to be in Florida. Hardly no one's going to have to be there. I don't think pay-per-view numbers are going to be that great, because the go-home show was almost atrocious.
Yeah.
And there's no big matches.
No. Well.
Okay. Who wants to see Brody Lee versus John Moxley in a World Championship match?
Well, yeah. Who wants to see Britt Baker fight Starlander?
I like me my Britt Baker.
I mean, honestly, the only thing I'm excited about is seeing Arn and Jake. Yeah. I want to say Cody and Murder Hawk, but that feud wasn't built up very well. If you notice, I don't know if you noticed or not, this is 2 pay-per-views in a row where Cody was not at the go-home show.
Yeah, well, which I'm kind of glad, because last week he did that stupid-ass truck thing that was
right, but
that was almost as useless as the let's go have a little battle royal in the end zone.
Yeah, but I'm just going, if you're trying to build up this big pay-per-view that you really need people for, because this is the worst time for pay-per-view, you need to be pushing every single match tonight.
You can
they had Arn and Jake do it, but still.
You can make an argument that they know this is kind of a lost pay-per-view, so they're just trying to salvage whatever they can, or salvage whatever that they can salvage. But at the same time, having to rework angles that would have been the big cards to save them for something else. Because, I mean, you don't want to bust your nut on something that no one's going to pay to go see.
I think that's like, I don't want
nobody can pay to go see.
To me, this should be a discounted pay-per-view. It's still $50.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they would probably get more people to buy into it if it was a discounted pay-per-view.
I'm thinking between $20 to $30.
Yeah, $30. They're no more than 30.
Yeah, folks who
how much I got to bring to my friend's house? I'm only bringing $10.
You only bringing $10?
Yeah.
You're like, fuck you. We're paying $10 for this trash. I do a wrestling podcast, and I know exactly what's good and what's not good. I'm fucking Steve Ackerman.
Well, shit, me and Blake used to pay for the old TNA Impact pay-per-views, and those were like $40. And then he had to get the high dep, which was another 10. I'm like, dude, really?
I mean, the way I see it, I mean, the venue they're going to be at is already owned by the Khans.
Yeah.
So why not just make it cheap? Why not just make it cheaper? I understand you're paying Tyson money, but you shouldn't be even have Tyson there right now.
Yeah.
You could have saved money and had Sting. Could have had Sting present the damn belt. you could have saved a hell of a lot of money on that. But
since it's happening in Florida, do you think that Rob Gronkowski will show up and he'll lose his 24/7 belt to Sting?
no.
You heard it here first on Deathlocker's Three Faces of Wrestling podcast. Rob Gronkowski will not lose. We guarantee that he will not lose his 24/7 belt to Sting. So I think that about wraps it up for everything. You guys got any saved rounds or alibis for the folks out there listening in Deathlocker land?
Any what?
Saved rounds or alibis? I'm throwing a little military terminology at you.
I'm going with Brian Cage as the surprise entry in that.
I don't know why you keep saying that.
I don't know. I got a feeling.
There's been no mention of that. No one's talked about it. No one has ever thought that would happen.
I think he's coming.
He pisses Dion by looking at him. He's full of steroids. No,
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm going to say either Ryder or Revolt is going to be there, or Sting. I know that's three things, but they're going to try to make a big thing.
EC3 is interesting because there was some talk about there being a whole other stable with EC3 and Revolt.
You don't need any more fucking stables.
Yeah. So with that,
something's going to happen.
Three Faces of Wrestling. We're done. We're out. No more stables at AEW. Listen to us. We're the fans. We will catch you guys next week.
Have a good one.